Okay, I want to say hello again, everybody. It's only me, Wushu Richard. I'm making some more talk videos tonight at home. In this talk video, I want to talk about a subject that really makes me sick and really makes me angry, really. I'm not going to get really angry on this video, but I've been thinking to make this video for a few days now. I was like busy last week working and that, working as a teacher, and I was like, I get really busy, but it's like I was thinking about this throughout the week, and I was thinking, I should do this video maybe, but I'm doing it now, and the video is about a subject that really does make me a bit awkward. It makes me feel angry when I think about it, very, very angry, really. Now, what it really is, right, is like this. You're sitting there now, or you're watching this video, and I'm talking to you through this video. Anyone, okay, any human being, anybody, you in the world now, regardless of if you know me or you don't know me or whatever. But we're all people. Now, what makes me really, really angry and upset is the fact that anyone in the world, we're all human, we're all human, but most people, I don't want to say you as though it's like personally to you, but it could be you. It could be very well you. People are conditioned, that's what I'm saying. Too many people are conditioned by society. Society that's made up, controlled by the government and that. People are brainwashed on so many levels, and they don't even know it, as I've said before. But what I always think, from time to time, it comes to my mind now and again, that people are so controlled. Some people will say, "Oh, nobody controls me." What do you mean? I mean, they don't see it. They're really brainwashed by the society, what they believe is to be their reality, and it's just so made up. But what I'm going to say is this: law. Let's say laws. Okay, law. If there were no laws, okay, if suddenly there were no laws, or like the movie. If you've seen the movie The Purge. Do you know the movie The Purge and The Purge 2 Anarchy? I've never seen the second one, but would like to see it. Interesting, but it's like literally, if there were no laws, okay, then people, possibly yourself too, maybe not immediately, but in time, maybe, but a lot of people would take to the streets and it would just be absolute chaos. Normal people. The supermarkets would be ransacked, the shops, looting would go on, fires, people would act very irrationally too, and I believe this. You see it in riots. So if there were no laws to keep people in order, and this is the only thing, sadly, it seems, this is so pathetic, but one of the only things that really do control us big kids, if you like, all these human beings, these adults, they believe they're in a situation where it's a one for all. It's like it's a fight, jungle. What we call it, it's a concrete jungle. It's like a war for survival anyway in society. But they believe they're under so much pressure. If suddenly there were no laws, everybody would go to the streets and go crazy. There'd be infernos of fires, arson, buildings demolished. It would happen. Vandalism, but most importantly, people would be going around stealing money, whatever. If there were no laws, I'm saying, they would go and steal clothes, they would go and steal loads of food, they would just go looting, there would be violence, the greed amongst everybody in the chaos, there would definitely be deaths and violence and injuries. People would be out of control. If there was no law, can you imagine it? Probably hospitals would be burnt down to the ground. Human beings would be so, excuse my language, but human beings would be so fucking stupid to tear down their own civilization with this they've built, and their civilizedness would just go out the window and they just destroy each other. And you might say, "Well, come on now, Richard, you're being a bit far-fetched, a bit too." That's not the point. I know this would happen. I believe this would happen. If there was no law there, suddenly laws were just, now don't worry, there's no laws, yeah, it's alright. For a couple of weeks or months, I'm sure in a couple of weeks to a month you'd see a total change. Burnt buildings, murders, violence, people in tears, families in tears, absolute destruction everywhere. Greed would run the people, and crazed people. It would be so fucking crazy. Come into your house, smash your windows, your doors, kill you. Anyone. It would be rapes going on. It would be absolute, total chaos. People's kids getting killed and attacked. It would just be absolutely like a zombie, like when you could disaster film. It would be like an absolute chaotic. Can you understand this? Why wouldn't society be able to? And you might say, well, obviously, you can probably say what you want to say to me now. You can tell me to shut up and stop daydreaming. But I'm saying, really, why can't we, living as we are now, just imagine in your mind, okay, there's no law. Wait a minute. We can still live our lives, right? Yeah, you might not be getting the most money for your job, or you want more for your wages and that. But wait a minute, put that aside. We've got a life. You've got a house, you've got a family, you might have a little small flat apartment you're living in, you might be a big house, or it's imbalanced, you want to have a massive mansion like somebody else. But no, wait a minute. There's people are so damn greedy and so blind. Imagine. We've got people, road sweepers out there, doctors, hospital, schools, factories making all the things we need. We got fucking posh fancy restaurants on the fucking street, right? A lot of people, foreigners too, but they come here and we're living together. You've got your place to live, you've got a school, you've got colleges, you've got sanity, you've got parks to go to. We've got this civilization, this modern world we've got. Why would you want to tear it all fucking down? Well, it's as simple as this, my baby's hungry. I can imagine that now. Why you're fucking, somebody in your family's on fucking crystal meth or whatever the fuck you call it, because and your kids are joining gangs and that, because of it's the in thing, and they want to get a new pair of sneakers, and the government's not giving them the support they need. What a load of old sheep, fucking fake ass weakness to be like that. I'm just saying. Sorry to swear and express myself strongly. I'm not going to shout, but I'll go mad in this one. But you know what I mean, guys? Honestly, I have to be defiant. I have to be serious when I say this, because we could continue to live a normal society and let it go on. It's only greed. It's only ideas in your mind. Right? There could be no laws, and you could still go to work and earn your money. And you may not be earning as much money as somebody else, but you could go up and give some food or some money to a homeless man. Just recently I watched a video online about somebody giving food to homeless people and stuff. It was really, really inspiring. But I'm just saying, you know what I mean? You could help somebody out. The rich people could go and give some money to charities and things like that too. But it doesn't mean when you give, you pay and you give up your life for such and this or that. You know what I mean? It's like balance and harmony can be. We can help each other. We can make life much more easier. We can help each other on small levels in life, simple things, and we can also help each other in big ways without sacrificing ourselves. You don't need to cut your head off, your arms and legs off, and kill yourself. You can still live a normal life and be normal and rational and loving and respectful to human beings in general. And in your life, you can be more positive from today. Just because other people might be negative doesn't mean you need to be negative or mean to others or fear this or that, like you need to prove yourself to others. It's just ridiculous. So that's what makes me very angry, that people are so irrational. And this is one example I've given here, illogical. This is one example I've given here about if there were no laws, suddenly. Can you imagine what would happen, right? It's pathetic. Fucking ridiculous. Why would you do that? And you might say, well, you can't imagine it now, but it's like you would if you was in a certain situation. Maybe you're in time that everything's going crazy outside and you need to fight for survival. Yeah, let's talk about a fight for survival. And that's what martial arts is about. Same thing again. Fight for survival. We learn all these fighting moves, a punch or a kick and martial art movements. If your life's in danger, you might have to use a technique to fight. But it doesn't mean there's all this fighting going on around you and you need to get into the fights as well. So, you know what I mean? Or everybody else is stealing, so you have to steal. So then you might say, well, okay, then am I going to be the only stupid cunt in the world that goes to work hard for money when everybody else is just getting stuff for free and stealing and robbing and looting? And you've got to work day in, day out, hours on end to get little bit of money to survive. Well, I'm not saying that totally, and I'm not saying not totally. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like I'm saying, if I was to say, oh no, you know, is wrong or right, you can go either way and justify certain areas of it or this or that. But you've got to be positive, and I believe we all can't be lazy fuckers in this world to make the society that we've developed now. And let's face it, we've got a much more developed society than was back in history, the ancient times when we had nothing as such, or some poor countries in the world. So we need communication as well as the technology. We need to work together and make the world a better place. As I've got to mention him again, I have to mention him, Jock Fresco, an absolute legend. He's one of my absolute idols. You watch his videos online, the Venus Project, and Jock Fresco's interview with the London Real. This guy is just amazing. Really. They're talking about all this stuff. You know, we need to learn as people to communicate better and use what we have, the technology, the Earth's resources, be more scientific about things, and be more real about things. Reality and logic, you know, logic, reasoning. But there's no logic and reasoning as such, is there? In government, and that is all corrupt, brainwashing, fucking, it's just greed and power. Who's the highest people you can think of? Who's the high up guys? It's the government, whoever's running the country, right? Unless someone's running the world, but you know, that's what it really is. Who's got the most power, the most money, or the most women? Definitely the government, right? It's the highest power you can imagine, right? So, can you ever imagine a higher power? Why don't we just call that homeless guy on the street the president or something? You know what I mean? Or say, for example, you know what I mean? It's got, you know what I mean? It all comes from money, and money's just an idea in people's minds. But do you know anyone with, you know, with a powerful position that doesn't use it to their advantage, that uses it to gives you the advantage and the upper hand? Then that would make you the boss. It would make you in charge of it, wouldn't it? So you've got to see beyond the bullshit. You'd be living in a dream world, Neo. Morpheus says to Neo in the Matrix. This is reality, you know what I mean? You're becoming a battery for the machine. They're just using you. Like, you know, disposable fucking bullshit, you know? Plastic cups and spoons, that's what it basically is. You know, the tissues just used, you know, tissues to use for their tears when they're, you know, when you... Please vote for me, okay, you become a tissue to wipe their eyes, okay. Wipe their ass. You're wiping the asses of people. There's people out there that are road cleaners, you know, but it's like, it would be really good if they were like cleaning the roads for us to walk on freely, you know what I'm trying to say, really cleaning up some shit. But these people are using more heart, I believe, than some of these people in the government, you know what I mean? Well, like higher, I'm saying, the people that are up there, like, because there's good and evil in everything, but it's like, it's amazing to see like how evil seems to rule over good too much of the time, but good's always there, and good's all been surviving the whole time. So you should see that we're, as human beings, so what I'm going to say now is we need communication, we need to work together. And what I want to say is, you know, the next example I'm going to give, another example here, because the first example is if there was no laws, suddenly, and hopefully it will never happen, of course. But what I'm going to say is another one, okay? Another one that's really good, okay, is this one. Imagine this. Imagine if you went into prison. I watch a lot of documentaries and bits and pieces online, documentaries about prisons and jails. I've never been in jail, prison, but you see them talking about the violence and the culture in jails where things are a certain way. There's codes and laws in jail as such where people act certain ways, and it's all about violence, power, you know, how you get respect from other inmates, and they have to go through initiation, beatings and fights and all the rest of it, and it's like, it's just this absolute constant fear, I can imagine. It's like only the strong survive, but it's like, you know, can you see what I'm saying though? It's like people are in a situation where they're in this situation where they can't change, but it's like inside they've still got to fight amongst themselves. People could go to prison and they could just live the life in prison as normal people, and oh hi Joe, how are you today? And have a chair every time they see them, you know what I mean? And go about in the lunch halls and that, and everybody can go and do their basketball and whatever they do, recreation and that. They could live a normal life without this feel. They could have the same kind of you see what I'm saying? What I'm trying to say is no excuse for violence. It doesn't make any sense. Violence only makes sense when there's fear in the occasion, or in the equation. So in the equation, violence and anger and like being powerful, violence and aggression and violence, that only enters the equation with any sense when fear is in the equation, or when it's like, well, I have to because someone's going to try and kill me, someone's going to try and beat the shit out of me, someone's going to try and steal my stuff, someone's going to try and play games with me, so I'm going to have to be more tough instead. And that's what the whole law is. That's the basic thing, isn't it? And who's got the most power? Who's the one who's going to get more imposing upon people and become like gang bosses in prison? And that's what happens. But it's all fake, really. If everybody could be a little skinny like Richard, like me, and say, "It's a nice cup of tea, guys. Let's sit down and have some tea now together. And just fucking chill." You know what I mean? Have a laugh and a joke and just let the days go by and live your life as such. But yet they choose to. It's like they've got all that stress in there, you can imagine. I've never been to prison, but I'm just saying, for example, they're going through all this shit in there, and it's hard enough, but they choose to just be destructive. So it's amazing how some people just choose to be disruptive and destructive outside or in the prison cells. I just cannot understand it. All negativity is wrong, regardless of your situation, regardless of the government's keeping you in lockdown, regardless of if you're being treated like this or that, being oppressed or whatever in some way or shape or form, being treated as the lower class. You should never bow down and fall to a low level and become negative in yourself, destructive or destructive to society and humanity. You should always do the right thing. You should be better than that, right? Stand up because you care ultimately, right? You care. You're pissed off that people are treating you like a piece of shit, that you're lower than everybody else, right? Yeah, so you should say, well, I'm not going to fall down to that level. I should be more. It's not about being lenient and patient with these suckers, these people that just want to oppress you, even no matter what, But it's like there's no excuse, like what I mean. It's like to go around terrorising other human beings, harming people, stealing, robbing, attacking, raping, killing, beating. It's just ridiculous. And then as for drugs and things like taking to drugs, something like that, and then drug dealing, that destroys people's lives, and your own it can too. So it's like, that's really pathetic, setting arson to buildings, reckless driving, whatever it might be. People just need to keep order of themselves, control yourself. You're not an animal, right? You're a fucking normal human being. So it's like, these animals, you remember, control always beats no control. What do I mean by that? I'm saying, fair enough, the government's got control, they've got power, they've got money, right? Fair enough, the government, they're all human beings, so they're all people. It's minds that get you through and get you to places in life. And there'll always be that struggle, there'll always be that the higher power and then the weaker, the lower class, the poor, the people, the peasants. What I'm trying to say is that they might have control as such. You know what I'm trying to say? But it's like, from your point of view then, if you're, let's say, people in the world that are really pissed off and you feel you're treated unfairly by the government, and you're like someone who's like, there's no good jobs and there's low money and that, then I'm just saying it's terrible. We need to do things. There can be protests, even riots and stuff, but that's so dangerous. And I'm not promoting riots and that. I'm just saying, it's like, we can understand, causing a uproar, doing, standing up to the government, things like that, and protests of some kind, fair enough. And I'm not one for standing up for that, but I'm saying, if someone understand that, the voice has got to be heard of the people and come together lovingly and strengthfully and powerfully, and refuse to be bullied. And we've got to do it more and be more powerful than that. You can be more powerful than what's trying. You have to beat what's beating you, right? You can't let it beat you and then just beat each other up. And if you're in your family, you wouldn't say, well, you know what, the government's starving me, so you're going to go and kill your family members, and you just kill each other because we're so hungry, because we're so fucked up. That's why we've done that. You wouldn't do that, would you? So why would you go on the street and kill your fellow human being, brother or sister, anyone? Really the same thing, you know what I mean? And say, well, laws just to put a message, just to send a message to these people, because they don't really give a fuck. As long as there's enough people in the government, in the economy, giving money, you know what I'm trying to say, to keep them in power. They don't really give a shit. put flowers at your burial. The president even might show up even and walk there and say, oh yeah, it was tragic, so many people died or whatever. But at the end of the day, it's going to be your family mourning. But the next morning is a new day, and weeks pass, and what does your life really matter in this world? So if your life does matter to you, and if our lives do matter to us, we've got to understand that life's what matters. Precious health and mind and body health, and being more on top of the game, wiser and stronger. We might be the poor ones, we might be the weaker ones. We can get more for ourselves. But it's like things can be done, but that's not. You're not taking the right way. You don't say that the government's not paying me enough money. I'm going to go and stab somebody up, someone I love, someone close to me, or someone. How does that? That doesn't really deal with the situation. But over time, then you must realise that that's the way. It doesn't. So what I'm trying to say is back to the Marshall principles again, the real life principle, right? The point: control will always beat no control, right? Control will always beat lack of control. You say, no man, just go fucking wild. No, don't get that. I'd say, really, right? Control will beat no control. It just says it right there, what it is. Wise seeing, wiseness, clear sight, vision will beat blindness, right? Exactly. Well, what kind do you mean? Any kind, even from the heart, I'm saying, and understanding from your point of view, and feeling within nature. Not destruction and blowing yourself up and throwing bodies into space. I'm not talking about that. Again, you enhance just learning their language, smart, wiseness, positive stuff. You know what I'm saying? Seeing, thinking clearly, understanding the broader picture, how to use, being wise, not just being a dickhead on the spot. Martial arts teaches us to be wise, not just go out and get into fist fights, but learn how to deal with situations and be smart. And get things done rather than put ourselves in prisons or let and say that it's them doing it or it is, and then we just go in and we kill ourselves. It's like in ancient Rome, was it, or whatever, or in certain places in the world, the people wouldn't say, oh shit. I mean, in my imagination, I wouldn't imagine that if there was some people living in a small city, let's say, and then invaders were coming from outside to attack, the people inside wouldn't want to kill each other then, would they? They'd stand up and fight, even if it means fight to the death. You know what I'm trying to say? So it's like, so what I'm trying to say is you don't, you know what I mean? It's like the prison, they put you in this situation, you can't get out, so you can do. It's like a scorpion in a ring of fire again. Hi Demsley. I said no, like a scorpion in a ring of fire when it commits suicide because it doesn't know what to do to get out. You know what I mean? If there's no way out, or that it can't see, you know what I mean? But it's like, can you always see? So martial arts is trying to teach you to see the way out and see around, but also it takes a time, it's a lifelong journey, so you have to study life and study the things that you come up against and communicate with all kinds of people. All kinds of people. They might not be a big badass gangbanger like you or whatever, but someone on the street, that little old lady down the street, that little nice old lady, she might have been through a lot in her life, or somebody else might have used to be a gangbanger like you, someone might have been in the wars, you might be a soldier, you may be able to pass your knowledge on to a doctor. You can learn from all kinds of people around you, the youth of today, learn from them how they see the world, because they're really living in a kind of reality, right? Kind of cheesy, but I mean, yeah. People of all kinds, men, women, from all kinds of different backgrounds, cultures, history, everything. You've got to learn from the whole situation. And then what I'm trying to say is, control will always beat no control. So I believe you can beat, if you can become more powerful. But knowledge is power. Become more powerful than what is trying to beat you. You have to beat what's going to beat you. But it's not always with fists or throwing rocks and stuff. Then they give you pepper spray, then you're chucking bottles and so. It's not about that. It's first and foremost, before you get into the battle, the mind is prevention's better than cure. You say, well, how can we prevent it? We're already being treated like shit, we're already in this situation, and we try again, and it wows us because we're not getting anywhere. But it's like, that's what you've got to see, the patience. Some people are religious in that, and some people are like religious, and some people are like very, very infinitely patient, and they talk about things like Jesus and people, they say that you've got to have that infinite patience. But some people are like, hang on a minute, what do you mean? You've got to keep taking it? Like Rocky says, I get the same thing, they're good though, right? It's how hard you can get here and keep moving forward. But some people will be like, what do you mean? Keep taking it? It's like the other guy said, sometimes in life you find the only kind of respect that matters in this world, self-respect, like the boxing and that. Same in real life, same thing, self-respect. It's not really self-respect, is it, if you become a low criminal of society, a gangbanger, people that people look up to you for all the wrong reasons. You know what I mean? Not for someone who's, you know, maintained a positive being under this scrutiny. Maybe, let's say, you might see it an unjust force from the government or whatever, but people follow you because you're someone who will just go around and kill people and get money from people one way. And you know, when you go around and you start doing crime and things like that, you know, and you know, all those terrible things, drug dealing, whatever, that's coming from where? It's like it's coming from because you can't get it another way. You say, well, yeah, we've got to work somewhere, but no, it really is coming from a place where you've been controlled by these motherfuckers. You know what I mean? You've been brought to that level, and you must. So it doesn't matter. At least it puts money on the table, or it's good for your kids or whatever. And you're telling your kids you don't want them to become that. But as young people follow from adults, it's the same thing. So what I'm trying to say is, you'd rather be real. You'd rather stand up and say, yeah, I'm poor, whatever, or I'm this and that, but I'm a human being. I've got more dignity. Be wiser. And as a people together as well, be more together. There shouldn't be any fighting and killing amongst people and such. We should learn to stand up. You know, I don't believe that just going around and killing each other and doing terrible crimes and things is going to wake up a higher power as such. And also we've got to understand what truly is greed and what we truly have to do more for ourselves in life. But fair enough, you know, it can be hard in society, but you need to communicate. But I believe if we're wise and we get knowledge, you know, we learn the language and we learn and we get, you know, you can get from A to B. You can connect the dots. You collect books and such. You know what I mean? You can get more knowledge, and knowledge is power. Ultimately, your power will match their power, and your knowledge will become more and more than theirs. And you know, more people, more, you know what I mean? Yeah, more people. The whole can be. You know, the more people in your gang, let's say, the bigger it is, right? The bigger in the army, the better, right? So the more wise people coming together with the languages, you know, and then language combined with a wise, knowledgeable mind and wisdom and language, learning how to shove it back in their face, you know, deflect, reflect back on, you know, reverse psychology, all that, whatever, and use language that people accept too, rather than getting into arguments and stuff. There's always a way. That's why we say Tai Chi, right? Tai Chi is the ultimate way, the embodiment of yin and yang, yin yang. You know, I mean, even samurais, you know, I mean, warriors of death, the samurais would go in there expecting to die, and they'd go in there, the heart in the sword with every slash. But the samurai, before they took their sword out, you know, it was very ceremonious. The samurai was there. They were doing, it was like Zen, you get like Zen teaching, something like that, and they've got that. The warriors back in the day, you know what I mean? People that you hear about, like people that have been in prison and stuff back in the day, that were like really into books and stuff like The Art of War and things like that, you know what I mean? Sun Tzu, is it, or Sun Tzu, I can't pronounce his name, but the guy, right? I had a book before called Musashi's Book of Five Rings. There's other books out there. You've got a Wu-Tang Clan, you know, there's The Art of Wu. There's a lot of books that are good. My favourite book of all time is the Tao Te Ching. It's called the Tao Te Ching, a philosophical book. I like any philosophical books, you know. I've got some other like stories and things I need to read on my computer. Do more reading, you know what I mean? Yeah. Another good story is another good book of short stories is Peter Lewis. Myths and Legends of the Martial Arts. That's Myths and Legends of the Martial Arts. A very good book. Short stories, and that some of them are true, some of them are not true, but the meanings inside are true. Some of them stories that you might look at and say are like childish, but no, that's how you might see it in today's situation. But you've got to be simple sometimes, and sometimes there's like deep inner meaning. But you have to believe in what you want to believe. You have to see clearly what you want in your life and do good and make good. Don't make shit. Don't say, well, you know, I'm not getting enough money to eat bread, so I will make a criminal organisation where we go around and terrorise people and then get as much cardboard as we can, and we feed cardboard to our family every day, and our kids have got so much food on the plate. It's cardboard, paper, because you got no room. Because that's just lying to your fucking self. You know what I mean? You might be eating cardboard, but it's like you're eating money more or less. You know what I mean? Fucking hell. And it's like, you might feel full on that shit, and the next day you just wake up dead in the hospital. You know what I mean? Or it's like you don't wash your hands, before you eat. You end up being sick the next day. You clean your hands of that injustice. Clean your mouth of that injustice, that bullshit. Clean your heart and mind of that negative shit they're giving you every day. I'm making a long video here talking from my heart. I'm a human being like you anyway. I could be a big tough guy like you. I could have tattoos and all that. I'm just me here. Think of someone in your family. I bet there's somebody in your family who's like kind of like me. Maybe not someone who's thin or some little old lady or something, right? We're all people. At the end of the day, there's wise, there's professors and there's scientists. You know what I'm trying to say, right? There's soldiers. There's wise monks like the Shaolin Temple who were never like fighters, but they were wise. And then there are people that can seriously kick some ass, like fighters, combat people. But I'm just saying, right, knowledge might be power, it really fucking is. Rather than just talk shit, and it's the same with the politics you get online too, but rather than all this crap, we should be using everything we've got now. Imagine if it was back in the day now, suddenly you click your fingers and all of this disappeared, and we was back in the Stone Age. There's barbarians around, people hitting each other with rocks or bladed weapons, you know what I mean? And it was like carnage. Because that's what we've developed this society, especially the Western cultures as well, So we should be protecting that. And there's violence all over the world, but I'm saying, the whole world, the East, the West, we're all, it's all the best. No, we are able to communicate. We are able to realise, I'm sure, what we've developed, how far we've come. There's like backward countries which are less developed, I should say, which also are very proud, and they also speak of their history and how proud they are and how far they've come, and they really feel that, and they show that, and there's museums you can go to, it shows, I'm here in China, for example, and there's a lot, humanity in itself, and it's amazing how far we've come, you know what I mean? So why do we want to fuck everything up, you know what I mean? Why, when you're walking in the supermarket and you're just picking stuff off the shelf and it's there, and you go to other parts of the world and you see, where it's like worse, poorer, and you know what I'm trying to say though? It's like we should value it all and be grateful for all we have, grateful that and understand that we've created it. People like us, just everyone, individuals like us, Some people in difficult times too, as well as easier times. You know what I'm trying to say, yeah? So the same way as you can just turn into some drug addict or a killer just because there's no laws now, or just because you've been thrown in prison, or just because you're fucked off with the government and you feel hard done by. But we can always make good of a situation. And that's what some criminals will say. They'll say, they're making good of a situation. Yeah, that's why they deal with drugs and that, because they can't get enough money, so they just turn to crime and that, and that's bringing in better. Now they've got all these flashy clothes and they've got a nice car. It's just unbelievable when you think about it. Death's on the line too, and if sometimes death, your life might be on the line, but you have to face it, and they become tough and all. But it's just so pathetic. You could just be killed straight out. It's like people dying in general. Fakeness, it's ego, it's pathetic. And there's some people that are like criminals and they turn to religion and they're just talking about Jesus or whoever it might be. But it's unbelievable because these people, they don't even see really that. They justify all what they do, but it's real justice, real purity is what you should be trying to aim for. There's no, life is what it is, and this is what it is, so I'm just gonna be this way. You know what I mean? You can be better. I was saying, as for violence and as for things like guns and things like that, I'll never understand that. I mean, I know in America guns are legal. They always have been. You might say, I don't know. It's up to you. Some people say guns have always been. By the way, people make fun of my British accent too, so don't worry, it's okay. But I'm just saying, for example, right? People, with, let's say, guns, like in America and other countries, where they are legal, I can't understand that when it's for self-defense. For self-defense, because the laws are not strong enough, or what? You're afraid someone's gonna, because people are gonna get hold of guns anyway. So now, and there's too many people with guns anyway. So if guns were illegal, then people would still get their hands on guns. So how are we going to defend ourselves? So you might say that, and you might use other things, recent events and stuff like France or England, right? You might things which have happened, and you might say, well, you see, no one's able to defend themselves. But it's just ridiculous. I don't believe that's the way. And I don't mean I'm saying, well, violence is not the answer, you know, two wrongs don't make a right. I'm not saying that like the poetic, philosophical. I'm saying, really, guns are to kill. You harm people. You might say, well, yeah, someone's going to kill you with a gun. He might shoot you in the head. You shoot him in the leg, or fire a warning shot, and you scare off someone, and that's saved your life. Yeah, maybe. Maybe the guy still dies, or maybe he doesn't. But I'm just saying that. But it's not the point. It's violence. You know, you could turn it the other way and say, well, the guy was going to shoot you in the leg. He wasn't his intention wasn't to kill you, but then you shoot him in the leg, or and he dies, and you didn't mean to kill him. So nobody meant to kill anybody. It's all self-defense. Maybe he was trying to defend himself. He thought you were going to kill him. For example, right? So, I thought that guy was going to kill me. That's what it says. That if you believe your life to be in danger, I read it up on the computer about the law and what it actually says about guns. If you believe your life to be in danger or a threat, I don't know the exact words, but something like that, right? And I know the exact words do matter in bullshit languages we make up about human mind. But you know what I'm trying to say, though? I thought my life was in danger. That's what I really believed. So I shot him. Oh, okay, self-defense. Ridiculous, you know. It's just violence. Okay, then why don't they say bombs then? They could say the same thing. They could say bombs. Okay, we're going to legalise bombs. We're going to legalise hand grenades. You know, what's the difference between a gun and a hand grenade, or wielding a sword? I'm not going to say kitchen knives because no, I'm talking stupid now because they're for the kitchen. Yeah, of course. I'm just saying about swords, that's wielding swords around on the street. They're weapons, they can be used for self-defence, right? Back in the day, that's the way it was. But it weren't like laws like they got today. It was like people would use swords or sticks or anything they could use to defend. And if you go back now, not in the barbarian whatever days, but going back in the martial arts days in the history, that's what it was all about as well. And people were developing certain fighting methods of their own and family methods of combat. Go and train with your brother in the afternoon, you know, let's go and train in the yard. So that's what it was. And I'm saying, you know, so people go wielding swords around that. Okay, we're going to legalise that, so you can carry one too for self-defence. Don't cut across the neck or hit them in vital areas, but you can give them a slash here or there. You know, there's some training you can get for that too, and we put certain laws on it and things you have, you know, to get control, like gun control laws, right? You know, it doesn't make any sense though. It's still a fucking weapon for killing someone. For harm. It's a weapon. It's not a kitchen knife a tool. You know what I'm saying? But again, you take away all the guns, all the knives, all the dangerous things, and all the weapons, and you've still got the chance that people will find ways of killing people. Everybody's home has got a toilet. Oh, someone's going to stuff someone's head in the toilet and suffer and drown them. Oh, then let's get rid of toilets now. We're going to have everybody has to shit outside in a hole. You know, it must sound ridiculous what I'm saying. You know what I mean, though? Or people start killing people in different ways. You know, you can kitchen knife. You know what I'm trying to say? I'm just saying that it's just ridiculous. But people find excuses for violence in under pressure, under stress from a higher power, or self-harm. People go in protests, people go in riots, smash up civilization to show we're not going to stand for this from the government, we're not going to have this. They commit suicide. You even see monks and things setting themselves on fire in certain places in the world. I can't believe it because they're supposed to be monks and they're supposed to not believe in any control apart from self-control, and they believe in that fake materialistic world. You've got to be real, you've got to live in the real world, but you've got the real world and nature, and then you've got this thing that built up around you with buildings and stuff with barbed wire, and it's said the government building. All that is stone and things, and the wooden doors we cut down from trees and people put there. It's not real really, but you say it is real because it affects the money on my plate. It is real because people get put behind bars with different laws. It is real because people are working and that's the only way they can get food. And it is real in medical care and education, wherever it might be, you know. You know, having a car and licenses for cars and everything's all orderly, you know, because otherwise, you know, there'd be no cars. Back in the day it was horse and carts, you know what I mean, or horses across the desert, donkeys, and you know what I'm trying to say, camel. You know what I'm trying to say though? People back in the day in the ancient times using art and things, using their art and craft, and they're like, weaving of like material, making clothes and knitting things together. They would be selling stuff, making all kinds of things like mirrors, a simple mirror or something, or like a compass, or back in the day, and you travel across the desert, and on your journey you'd find someone there, or someone who's selling water. Every now and then there'd be some bandits or something that'd come along, so the guy would have to defend himself, fair enough, But you see what I'm trying to say? You put yourself in these like weird little imaginary stories, and you think about things, or you watch films and stuff, or certain stories you might know of. But it's like, we're talking about the real world though, we're not messing around, and it's in this modern day and age. Modern day and age, we've got all this technology and people carrying on like idiots. Fucking stupid. It's been going on for years, but if suddenly there were no laws, would you carry on like a fucking idiot, or would you try and communicate and try and live like a positive human being? And why can't we all do that, I'm saying? And it's the same as if you're in prison. Now, if you go in prison and it's like this wild thing, and you're going to have to become tough, right? It's right, it's the cycle, I guess they say. It's been like that for years, so that's exactly why. And the same with the government. It's like we're in this big prison anyway, in the free outside world, it seems, because like the government's controlling the laws and everything on us. And it's very scary. Because imagine like laws changed, or they made different laws and you'd have to abide by them, otherwise you'd be dealt with by law. You've got prisons, you've got the death sentence, all kind of stuff going on. It's just crazy. Some countries where people chop your hands off, to me that sounds barbaric, someone chopping your hands off if you steal. The death sentence, any kind of death sentence, be lethal injection, electric chair, hanging, whatever it might be, gunshot to the head, is just absolutely barbaric, in my opinion. From my opinion, I'm saying. So, whether you're going back and reading from ancient texts, from history, or like religious, spiritual texts, or monks, or whatever it might be, people that are speaking this ancient words of like wisdom and peace, or if it's me sitting here now in my fucking t-shirt here, and just me telling you in this camera here, we're all human. What's the difference? It's the same thing, right? So I'm just saying, right, why is it under times of stress or times of illusions and things as well that we allow in? Why is it that we human beings are so able to lose our mind, or just act so for the worst in the long run to ourselves, rather than we see the best in the short run, but in the long run we're messing ourselves up? And we should be more positive and be more productive. Thank you for watching this video. Train hard and stay safe. Take care of yourselves, and I'd love to hear your thoughts, please, guys. Thank you.